Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Your boy JT here. I got Dub here with me. Together we make up in the arena. Let's go ahead and get into it. Trey Lance headed to the Lone Star State. So we all know Trey Lance, hit the scene running basically. A lot of folks hadn't heard about Trey Lance. He played at a smaller, what would be like a mid-major if we were talking about basketball, D1 AA. Now FCS is the new term for it. But school hadn't thrown a lot of passes at the high school level, hadn't thrown a lot of passes at the college level. But San Francisco thought they had their guy and taking him within the top 5 picks. After a lot of injuries, some setbacks, and Brock Purdy, along with Jimmy Garoppolo coming back, he never really got that chance to bud into who they thought he could be. So yesterday, they traded him to the Dallas Cowboys. Dub, I got to hear from you. What do you think this means for both the Dallas Cowboys, Trey Lance, and for also the San Francisco 49ers?
Yeah, I can touch on the 49ers real quick. Gosh, when you look at that 2020 draft and you look at players that were taken after Trey Lance, you got Michael Parsons, you got J.C. Horn, you got just a slew.
Patrick Surtain.
The second cornerback for the Denver Broncos. Like, you have a myriad of players. I would say at least about 10 players, 12 players that are playing at a very high level right now and are NFL starters.
And have been all pro.
That's another point too, yeah. And so when you look at Trey Lance, this guy that's essentially, he's always been a project type of guy, and he got injured last season, and now he's being traded, or he has been traded for a 4th-round pick to the Dallas Cowboys. It just makes you really think, what were the 49ers thinking, right? Because when you're scouting for these guys, you have to have enough insight about their performance, the statistics, the mental check. Can he, withstand the amount of information that's going to be dumped on him in a short period of time? Because there's a lot of things that the quarterback is accountable for, and it's honestly the hardest position on the football field. So for the 49ers, I just think this was just it's a bad break. I think, honestly, they should have held on to him a little bit longer to see what they can get out of him. But he was probably due for a big contract next season. And with him being injured, with Brock Purdy playing the way he played last season, I think they went on ahead and just decided to trade him away. But for a 4th-round pick, you basically traded him away for a steak dinner at Ocean Prom. Like, it's literally what you traded him for. Now, for Dallas, I don't always say good things about Dallas. So Dallas fans don't get on me, but I actually think this is a good pickup. I definitely think if Dak does not have a good season, Dak can find himself on the way out of Dallas because he's up for another contract extension. If you guys don't know that. So after this season, he is put up or shut up.
Sure.
They have to win a few playoff games. Dak has to have a breakout season. Well, not a breakout season, just one of his consistent season, throwing over 4,000 yards. If he doesn't make that happen, I could foresee Trey Lance go ahead and taking the Cowboys to the promised lands, possibly. But I think it's a good setup for Trey Lance. I think it's an ideal situation for him for sure.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I think it's an ideal situation for Trey Lance. I think the Dallas Cowboys definitely won in this trade. You get a great young player who's coming in behind what is basically your franchise quarterback for all intents and purposes. You get the opportunity to develop him and have him right there should there be any issues with not wanting to extend Dak. Now, will they extend Dak? Probably, because I believe I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I do believe the Cowboys will be playing in the NFC Championship this year. I've been saying it for the past couple of years. I feel like the Cowboys are going to make that progression, that step, and they've just been just a tad bit short of that. The Philadelphia Eagles, of course, have been great, played great last year, went to the Super Bowl, but I think this is the year of the Cowboys getting their opportunity. Let's face it, the 49ers had their chance last year. Will they come back and play just as good this year? I don't believe the hype. I don't believe Brock Purdy is going to play as well this year as he played last year. Coming in last year as a third-string guy, there was no pressure, right? All you had to do was come in the game, do your best, try to protect the football, not turn the ball over, and everyone was going to be happy with your performance. He exceeded those expectations because the bar was low. when you raise the bar and the expectations are higher, you can't expect necessarily that he's going to meet those new expectations. I mean, you went to the NFC Championship last year. The only thing that beats that is going to the Super Bowl. So anything that's not an NFC Championship is considered falling short for the 49ers this season. I don't think it happens. I think they have a setback. I don't think they'll be the same team that they were last year. The Philadelphia Eagles, they made it to the Super Bowl. They had that letdown. They weren't able to win the Super Bowl. I think they come back this year, and this year's a disappointment for them because they won't be back in the Super Bowl. And now you have the Dallas Cowboys. They haven't seen glory since the late 90s, early 90s, mid 90s. It's been a while, either way you spin it. Dak Prescott, all the pressure is on him to finally perform. You bring in Stephon Gilmore. You got two of the best corners in the game right now. You shore up that backfield with Deuce Vaughn. You got two dynamic running backs who can both catch the ball out of the backfield. You've got a solid, stout defense, and Micah Parsons leading the way. The Cowboy. And don't let me stop there. You bring in. Hold on. You shore up your receiving corps by bringing in Brandin Cooks, who still has the speed to extend the defense, stretch the field. So what we're looking at here, and I hate to say this, but what we're looking at here is, I believe, the most well-rounded team in the NFC in the Dallas Cowboys. Again, I'm not a Dallas Cowboys fan, but this is the most well-rounded team, and I think this is the year that they finally figure it out. They get to the NFC Championship. Dak is going to secure his job. But what we could have is a scenario where if Dak goes down and he gets hurt, I think Trey Lance will win that number 2 job. I mean, you got Cooper Rush in that quarterback room. You got Will Grier. Shout out to Will Grier, Charlotte native. I'm glad he continues to do his thing. But I think Trey Lance will be the number 2 guy in that quarterback room. And we could see later this season a scenario where Trey Lance lines up in a Cowboys uniform against his former team, the San Francisco 49ers. But I'm calling it here today. Dallas Cowboys will be in the NFC Championship.
Everything she said is factual besides them playing the NFC Championship game again, time and time again. I don't think you all understand the severity of the black cat that's running around in the Dallas Cowboys locker room, front office. They contaminated the whole facility.
All through the stadium.
What can go wrong in D-Town will
go wrong.
It will go wrong. They're not going to prosper this season. They're going to win 11 to 12 games. They're going to make it to the playoffs. They're going to lose first or second round. Pick your poison. They're not going to make it to a championship game, but I digress. Listen, this is the end of the video. Guys, how do you all feel about the Trey Lance trade? Did the 49ers really shoot themselves in the foot? I think so. The Dallas Cowboys did win this trade, but let us know how you feel in the comments. If you like the content that we're putting out, give us that CLS treatment. That comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next installment of In Any Arena.